I have two stories to share that pretty much helped establish my desire to learn more about light use. And when I'm talking about light use, I'm talking about handhelds, I'm talking about weapon lights, I'm talking about flashlights. So, about 2016, 2017, I was working for a small agency where the jurisdiction had a lake pretty much dead center of the populated areas. And if you happen to be on one side of the lake on a call and a call comes out on the other side of the lake, you have to drive all the way through. And that's a good 30, 45-minute drive. There's no ferry, and driving through the lake is obviously not possible. So I was on a call with a buddy. Um, Basically, it was a citizen dispute involving a firearm. Because a firearm was there, people were a little bit more stressed. We were getting down to the bottom of it. Things were getting resolved nicely when a 911 call came through, originating from the opposite side of the lake, involving a male who is suicidal, who has a firearm, with the 911 caller, who is another male. So the buddy and I kind of look at each other and kind of figure out, okay, who's going, who's staying. And he determines, since this was already his call, he'll stay there. I'll go to this suicide call. So I'm looking at a 30-minute drive ahead of me. Dispatch is keeping me updated as to what's going on. Jump in my vehicle, get comfortable, light siren, and then music, and drive. Drive at a increased rate. However, the roads were fairly narrow and windy, but it was fun. 3/4 of the way there, dispatch informs me that they were able to contact another deputy who's off, but he came in to assist with this. And then my buddy John, the fish cop, was able to respond. So we staged in an area a couple blocks away and out of view of this suicidal individual. It was on a trailer, and this is what we're responding to, and it's just off the main road. Now, this was summertime. It also was early evening, so we have this transitional light period where you can identify things at a distance, but you can't really pick up on details because of the light levels. And during the summer, also, this is a busier time for this. This is basically a vacation spot. Wonderful area, great place. Love going over there. So we make a hasty plan from where we're at, and we respond. We also stage again a little bit further or a little closer to the location and approach on foot. Well, deputy opts to go handgun. John the fish cop and I grab long guns. We both have ARs. Deputy goes far left while John and I kind of go forward, so we have a clear view of the front of the trailer. Looking at the trailer, typical, nothing amazing about it. There's nothing different about it, but there's a porch light on. So John and I are behind this tree, deputies flanking on the left, and we turn on our weapon lights just to increase a little bit more light so we can see, and our lights really aren't doing anything. Again, this is a transitional light period of the day, and that porch light isn't helping. Dispatch is talking to the subject and convince him to come out unarmed with his hands up. So he's compliant. He comes out, hands up. He announces himself. He comes out. We start to talk to him or yell to him. We're still a bit of a distance away. He comes out with his hands up, stands directly in front of this porch light. Well, at this point, our weapon lights aren't doing anything. And I think I was using a Fury 2, Surefire Fury 2 or P2X Fury as my rifle light. I don't remember what John was using, but clearly he was backlit because he's standing right in front of this porch light, and the ambient conditions as it was making things a little difficult to see. So fortunately, in my cargo pocket, I had a Surefire P3X Fury Tactical, and so this is a single output, 1,000 lumens, but more importantly, 22,000 candela. So I broke this out, illuminated the dude, and we were able to see. And so I fashioned it in a hold where I could still control my rifle, but maintain light on the guy. Now, our tactics obviously could have improved. On the way, I really had this feeling, this is going to be bad. I'm going to have to shoot this guy. Side note, I want to say this was on a Sunday. The following Wednesday, the larger municipality wound up responding to his house for similar threats in a different town, and he wound up getting killed by SWAT because he fired shots at SWAT. So, hindsight, we were doing at least safe tactics. But more importantly, let's talk about this light use. The ambient conditions, that transitional light period. So this is dusk, this is dawn. The photonic barrier that the porch light was providing. These are all factors that we deal with on a daily basis. And this is why it's important to have lights with high candela. This is not only our handhelds, but also our weapon lights. These are things also that we can see on a regular basis. If you go into like a Walmart parking lot or a lot of parking lots, car dealerships, they have light that their lights themselves are establishing or are emitting a photonic barrier, where low candela lights have real difficulty penetrating and reaching the subject. So you can experiment with this, and I highly recommend to grab your handhelds and grab weapon lights without the guns and go to like a Walmart parking lot and have a buddy wear dark clothes and go out to 20 yards, go out to 30 yards and illuminate that person and have them in different parts of the parking lot and see how well your lights work. This is how we figure out stuff before we need it, because you don't want to be in that situation where you're at this deficit and you can't see. On a side note, as you get older, you need more light to see. So I'm in my 50s now. 20 years ago, I was at that incident with a backlit dude. I still couldn't see sufficiently. I just had my eyes checked just a week ago. My eyes are great. Still, I need readers. Matter of fact, where are they? Yeah, here they are. I need readers. That's all. I don't need anything for normal every day. But our light sensitivity does change as we get older. So test your stuff out. Another story. We were doing room clearing training also in the summer. This was noon in a school where most of the lights in the school were out or turned off. So the interior is rather dark, except we do have sunlight coming through different shades. So imagine going through a doorway into a classroom and you're clearing this room. The lights are out and you have an unknown standing in front of a window with beams of light, sunlight, behind this person. This acts exactly like that porch light behind our suicidal subject. The solution to this is, well, you can move the person, you can potentially turn on the lights, or you can have a light with higher candela, whether it's your weapon light or your handheld, to defeat that immediate photonic barrier. Just some things to think about, food for thought. These instances have definitely helped me appreciate lights a lot more. I really have been striving to understand it better, to maximize it, but also more importantly, to spread the word to help people understand. This is why it's important to have this kind of a tool, because, well, this is, what is it, the TLR6. This is where the TLR6 is absolutely abysmal, because it has like 2 candela and 100 lumens. It doesn't do anything. Some of the older TLR7s, not that this is an older one, this is a newer one, but it has high lumens but low candela. It doesn't really work great when there are ambient light conditions or environments. Now, if you're in perfect darkness, yeah, they can work good. But if you need perfect darkness for your light to work, you don't have a very good light. So that's all. Think about it. Interested to hear your feedback, and I will talk to you later.